presented by Spotify. Fresh vibes, real talk.
Let's get started, shall we?
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another exciting episode, another exciting podcast. This is Coffee Talk, powered and presented by Spotify. Yes, I know a lot of people have been asking where we've been at with this show. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this week has been very, very impactful. This week has been very exciting. This week has been very, very tiring as well. Now, if you guys know, you know. We hope that you guys catched up with all the other podcast shows. What had happened was, new episode was on Tuesday. Playgrid Sports Podcast was on Wednesday. We kind of took a break on Thursday, of course, and for Thursday, and then Thursday night we're podding, and then Friday you'll get this show the next morning, the following morning. And yes, I know we haven't been doing coffee talk. And I think what we're going to do is, yes, it's true. I think I'm going to limit coffee talk at least maybe about one episode a week, simply because we've got Playgrid Sports Podcast on Wednesday, and then what had happened was podcast on Tuesday. I think this is just going to be the formula for us right now because it just works. We're not overloaded, we're not over exhausted. And I think we're gonna just start podding from Tuesday to Thursday-ish, maybe Friday. I think that's just gonna be kind of what we do for now. And I know a lot of people may not like it because I know a lot of people want a podcast every day from us. It's just not physical. It's not feasible to throw out podcasting each and every day because we get exhausted. I always say this in many, many podcast shows, ladies and gentlemen, that, with podcasting, it comes with script writing, it comes with planning, it comes with editing, it comes with creating the thumbnails, it comes with distribution, and you got to stream the show on some of these platforms, and that takes time. So I hope that everyone just, kind of enjoyed this new schedule that we got going on. And plus, we're getting ready for what I like to call it, Hope and Audience, is I like to call it a promo tour. Usually, when a new movie of ours or a new big thing that's coming out from K.L.P Entertainment, we like to do what we call a promo run. So, if you guys know, we've been on a huge promo and upgrading run. Of course, the Swanky 93.3 and the Heat 94.6 radio station logos got updated. What had happened was logo got updated. And of course, K.L.P Entertainment logo has gotten updated with a more modern touch. Because if you've seen it at the beginning of this episode, of course, every show, every podcast, every movie will have the new and improved K.L.P Entertainment animated logo when it comes down to that as well. So, very, very exciting when it comes down to it. When I mentioned the promo tour, ladies and gentlemen, this is what I mean. Tuesday, May 12th. The countdown is on. If you didn't see it on my Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter, I posted on it. We did the streaming in 5 days, and then today was streaming in 4 days. We are doing a countdown. May 12th. I can't say my first ever film because this is more like my 10th film that I've made because I made a lot of movies. But my 10th film, Dear Isaiah, will be streaming first ever. This is my first ever movie on Apple TV and YouTube TV. I'm very, very excited about this movie run. It is a documentary. If you guys don't know, I'll give you a quick synopsis about what this movie is about. Now, Dear Isaiah is a brand spanking new documentary about my business partner and family friend Tony Stewart. His son passes away with sickle cell illness, and I am there to help tell his story of raising Isaiah as a single parent. This story will make you cry. This story will make you get more intrigued into the story. There's going to be a lot of interviews in this movie, in this documentary, rather. There's going to be a big segment that I am in, that I'm a part of, that's in this documentary. We're touring all over Georgia and all over states to get these interviews in for people. And there's just going to be some special moments in this documentary to help tell this story. This story is very, very exciting because I want to help raise sickle cell awareness to the world. I always say this to a lot of my colleagues, a lot of my friends out there. They want to know what sickle cell is. It happens more of us in our color, skin, the black community. Sickle cell happens the most. And I think it's very, very important. I also told in the story that, I also had a friend. His name was Kason Gavin, who passed away because he had sickle cell. So this story is very important to me as a friend of Kason, but always important to me because to see that this is going on around the world and no one really knows about it. It is my mission to help tell that story. I'm very, very, very excited for this movie to start streaming on Apple TV and YouTube TV May 12th. That is a Tuesday. Get your popcorn ready, get your streaming ready, get your Wi-Fi ready, wherever you're watching it on your TV, your laptop, your phone. I'm sure you got Apple TV or YouTube TV on those devices. It's going to be very, very, very impactful. That is the promo run for this month. And I always say we're going to be on a press run with this because we're pushing hard with this movie. And of course, if you guys know, this is kind of like the catch up hope and audience for us because I do have quite a few a deep story that I want to talk about. Um, After Diarzea's tour, Project Collision, it is in full effect. Production has actually started. People think production there didn't start yet, but production has started on Project Collision. Poster will be kind of announced when I get back from vacation. And of course, we've got Collision, Project Collision's working on. Guardians is still getting worked up on. And the summer's going to be good because and I can say this right there. We have been confirmed for Battle of Atlanta 2026. I am so excited for that competition. If you guys don't know, I did my first ever Battle of Atlanta. It was last year. It was Battle of Atlanta 2025. So I got confirmed. I've got booked for Battle of Atlanta 2026. I'm one of the producers for the show. And what it is the Friday night and Saturday night, they do 2 nights of events. The Friday event is called Friday Night Fights, and it's well, basically, let me slow down. Battle of Atlanta is a huge competition conference where a lot of people who are studying jujitsu, martial arts, kickboxing, a little bit of it. I don't know if MMA is a really part of it, some sort of form of it, or if you're into some form of karate training, where you're going to taekwondo or what have you. You can train to be a artist and to really be a part of this program. And basically, what it is it's not just kids; it's people from all ages. You got kids. The youngest that I've seen from last year was 5 years old down to 30-year-old, 40-year-olds competing in this competition. And basically, they're showing off their talents, they're showing off their skill, they're showing off everything that they want to show off for this show. And then, of course, they win awards, they win sponsorships, they win scholarships. And also, I'm part of the production team. So, of course, it's going to be filmed, it's going to be broadcast. I think last year with both shows, they got a good number. I think in the upper 10,000, I might be lying on that, 10,000 views on YouTube. So and it's really more, it's more than just broadcasting on YouTube. Of course, there's a lot of social media push. Of course, I will be doing a social media push for me as well, because if you guys know that we announced the Kennedy Lucas Swanky special series, basically that's exclusive away from podcasting, is kind of an exclusive vlog, exclusive interview, exclusive travel. So we're going to be filming bits and pieces of Battle of Atlanta to put for my special that will be in June. That's going to be June's special is Battle of Atlanta. I can't wait to film that. It's going to be really, really, or within my parameters of what I'm allowed to film for my personal channels, of course, with Swanky and the Heat and my Instagram and LinkedIn and whatnot. So it's been really cool. So we've been confirmed with that. A lot of promos going out for that. We're creating logos for our content for Battle of Atlanta for this Swinky special series. So I get very giddy for that kind of stuff. So it's Friday, and then Saturday they do um um I think it's called I forgot what we called it last year, ladies and gentlemen. I know Friday was Friday Night Fights, and then Saturday was something. I might be blanking on the other name that we call on Saturdays. But we're gonna be there. We're gonna be live, and we're going to be filming as well. So that's gonna be June's project, of course. And then I got something, of course, with one of the projects that I just announced that's coming out in July. I won't announce it, of course. And then we'll be more back into the fall season. So a packed summer so far. We've got a lot of things. We got a lot of things coming out for that as well. That's why I'm kind of limiting the podcast because I got Evelyn and I that come into the studio to do what had happened was, and we're on fire with that. We're not stopping that. Playgrid Sports Podcast. That show has been very impactful. Amazon Music loves it, and our audience love the sports side of our show. Of course, WNBA is coming up very very soon. So of course, me and Dave, we're going to be doing our thing there as well. So it's not to say again, Coffee Talk's not going anywhere. It's not. It's just I have to limit my podcast, not trying to upload every single day because I did that this around this time last year and I got burned out. And I don't want to do that to you guys. It's not fair. All right. So I have one review that I wanted to talk about, and that's the new Star Fox video game that's getting ready to get released in June. I'm gonna get to that in a few minutes, right? So if you don't want to be in my more sentimental stories at the beginning of the show, you can skip ahead to where I review Star Fox. The video game. We'll get to that in just a few moments. But I wanted to kind of I wanted to kind of be vulnerable with you guys for a minute because this is something that you guys enjoy. And this is something that I have come to the realization of. And it's not gonna be me being sad. I'm not gonna cry on the podcast. It's a great topic of conversation. And this is just kind of where my head's been at. Um, as you guys know, and we're probably gonna post a flyer tomorrow. I think we're going to, of course, anytime I go on a vacation or a trip that's going to take longer than 3 days, then I issue with K.L.P Entertainment staff here, my producers and whatnot, that we're closing the offices. This is the time that I'm getting ready to go on vacation, and I'm telling my staff that next week we're going to be shutting down, not forever, shutting down for the week. All the staff members have the option to go on vacation and to do whatever they want to do. By all means, and for my staff members that's watching, my bloggers, writers, producers, you guys, again, vacation is next week. Don't come in the office because I will not be here. Um, so this is the time where we're going to be publishing and uploading. The poster. Vacation time is tomorrow. I do ship out to Mexico on Saturday, and I do plan on being back on Thursday. I will say that to say, and I'll say that to say, I don't know when the next podcast episode is going to be released. When I come back on Thursday, I've got a lot of things to do when I come back, so you might not get. I know you won't get a "What Happened Was" podcast because usually sometimes me and Evelyn pre-record. She's coming later than that next week after that. So you won't have that. I'll try my best to my audience, my fans, my listeners to have a coffee talk on Tuesday. Maybe I will do that to just talk briefly about the trip. The reason why I say briefly about the trip because again, like I mentioned, we announced the Kennedy Lucas Swanky special series. And again, what I mentioned with Battle of Atlanta, that is just another segment that we want to do. It's a segment that we won't do every day, right? Because I don't travel every day. I don't have exclusives every day. But when I have an opportunity to do exclusive stuff, whether it's going out the country for a trip or I'm going to do a conference, I try to do that segment to kind of go more in depth with that. Very, very excited for that because I've got the script kind of planned for that as well. And yes, I will be taking my new DJI Osmo Pocket 3. Shout out to my friend Connor. He had it. I bought it off of him. The DJI Osmo Pocket 3 is a camera that is kind of a small camera where it's more good for vlogging, and I will be there as well to vlog my experiences in Cancun for vacation. Very, very excited for vacation time. It is the week from Saturday to Thursday, minus the Saturday and Thursday, because those are technically travel days, me getting to and from. But this is the time where I am going to reflect. This is the time where I'm going to rest. I'm going to recover. I'm going to pray. I'm going to eat. I'm going to drink. I'm going to go to the beach multiple times. Luckily for me, the place that I'm going to has a gym facility. So I am going to use that gym facility a lot while I'm there. And I'm very, very excited. First and foremost, very, 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 very excited for this vacation. It's a long awaited vacation. I think this might be really the only first vacation that I'll have in the year. Um, and the reason why that being is because we're just a lot of dope stuff going on. I don't have time to do 3 vacations a year. So this is my big one. Um, I'm very, very excited for it because I've been to Cozumel, right? But I've never been to Cancun. I'm going somewhere tropical, and I of course, I'm even though I'm bringing my headphones for the airplane ride and my Osmo Pocket 3 with the vlog part, but that's and my phone. That's really the only thing, and maybe I might bring my Switch. That's really the only technology that I'm bringing. I am shutting work off for a week, and it's going to be very, very exciting. Now, this is the vulnerable part. And this is not me talking about my trip, and hopefully, no one takes this as a brag. 'Cause I'm not bragging about me going on vacation, but because times are tough. Um, this is my first trip that I am going alone. A lot of people thought I was going with family. A lot of people thought I was going with friends. I do obviously unconditionally love my family, and I unconditionally love my friends. Um, my friends, some or most of my friends have traveled at the beginning of this week, so it's hard for them to travel again when they just got back from trips that they already pre-planned. So that's why they're not able to come this time. My family members are not able to come. Some of them because it was a pretty penny that we paid for me to for me to pay for Mexico this time around, and some of my family just came from a business trip from a different country, so it's a lot to travel back to back to back like that. And my mom asked, shout out to my mama because I know you're watching the show. My mama had asked me, and my friend Muncie asked me too. Will you feel lonely? Why do you want to go on this trip alone? Do you need somebody to come with you? And I said to them, I think I would just do this alone because I think I'm starting to figure out the myself as a man, myself as a person, myself as my reconnection with God. Some things I've got to do alone to figure myself out and to figure my own craft, to figure out what it is that I've been retaining, what it is that I want in this life, right? It's crazy because I get in my head about these things. And mind you guys, and I'm open about where my birthday's on Tuesday, May 12th. That's the day the documentary comes out. That's wild, ain't it? I will be turning the age of 30. And 30 is a little different. It's not like my one of my 20th 20 something birthdays, like my 22nd or my 25th birthday or my even 27th birthday, right? Those birthdays are special. But 30, I lived 3 decades. And I'm starting to realize a lot about myself. There's a lot of things that I need to still figure out. And I'm here to tell the audience, my listeners, I'm never gonna figure everything out. You're not gonna figure it out at age 30. Hell, a lot of the students that I've seen on the campus that I work at, they're in their, of course, early 20s. They don't have things figured out. They had that notion that they gotta have everything figured out. You're not going to have things figured out. There's a lot of people who are in their 70s don't have their stuff figured out. It's just the normal life, right? But I told my family members and my friends that, "Hey, I think I wanna do this alone." Right? Because I wanna experience I've seen a lot of and I fumble with the I don't fumble. I watch a lot of TikTok, right? I watch Facebook videos, TikTok videos just when I have a moment to breathe, and so if I want a good laugh or I just wanna distract myself for a minute, I'm flipping on TikTok. And there's it's kind of a flip coin because a lot of fellas who are taking self trips, they say that it is the best thing in the world. They say that they have stress free, they have no drama, they're not stressed, they're not figuring things out. They're kind of going with the flow with their trips. They're experiencing some things by themselves that they've never thought they could experience, and they've had a ball. And that's one thing that I know that I'm gonna have at this Cancun trip because my friend Mussy, shout out to Mussy, and Mussy, if you're watching, I only say this because I love you, and she's good at it. She's good at planning, right? When it comes down to a trip, and Mussy, I'm sorry, I'm gonna use you as your example here. When you're traveling with her, everything has to go to a plan, and there's nothing wrong with that. She has an itinerary with everything, right? Because it's structure, right? People love structure, and I love structure to an extent. But I will tell you guys, soon as I board that plane on Saturday, and I landed in Cancun, of course, getting a ride to the place that I'm going to is a resort. It's a resort. I won't name the resort because but I'm going to a resort and all inclusive resort too. Can't wait. Soon as I check in, I'm gonna go with the flow, right? I'm going to go at it with no itinerary, no plans really, but to go with what I feel at that moment. If I feel like I want to go to the beach, I'm going to go to the beach that they have. Or if I'm hungry, I'm going to go to one of the 12 restaurant spots that they got because it's free. It's inclusive. It's free. That's why I love resorts because things are free. Uh, these are the things that I'm going to do. There's no itinerary. There's no planning because let me tell you, my friend Muncie, she is a fantastic planner when we go on our friend trips. She plans it through and through. You can't miss it. It's through and through by the book. She plans it. And that's a good experience. That's a good friend to travel with, first and foremost. But I also had family vacations, not as us in adults, because we kind of, when we went to Vegas, we kind of had an itinerary, but we kind of went with the flow. I'm thinking when we were kids and our parents took us on vacation, it was supposed to be itinerary, but then when we stick to the itinerary, we get agitated, we get frustrated, we're tired, we're over it, we're ready to go home. That's the thing with those type of family trips when we were kids, right? When we are adults now, there is a sort of an itinerary, but we kind of go with the flow, stress free kind of thing. But then when I'm traveling with my friends, and if my friend Muncie's planning it, oh, we ain't stressed because we got the itinerary. This is where my mind is at. I don't have a plan when I first arrive to Cancun, but to go to the resort to check in and check my bag in, right? But once I get to the resort, the world's my oyster, right? I don't have a plan. Um, and I think I'm excited for that. I also say this too because I can sense that my friends, they're excited for me for this trip, but they're a little bit worried because my family's not going with me. They're not going with me on this trip this time around. It's just me. I get why, and I'm going to a different country. I get why people worry. I'm here to say to my family and friends, if you're watching the show tonight, don't worry. I'm going to be fine. I'm responsible. I'm swole. So anybody try to dab me up, I can got it. Well, certain people, yeah, me, you got to be careful. I'm going to be careful. Like I say, I'm boarding the plane. As soon as I land in Cancun, I'm going straight to resort. I'm not trying to go all to these different places in Mexico. Not to say that Mexico's a dangerous place, but there are some dangerous parts in Mexico that I will not traverse to. I'm smart enough to know probably shouldn't go in that area, right? I'm going straight to resort. But I say to my friends, don't worry. Don't worry so much about me going on this solo trip because I do want to experience this alone. I think when I first talked about Cancun, you know, I thought in my heart, I thought that I was going to have a girlfriend to go along with me. And ladies and gentlemen, this is my sentimental moment. So again, if you wanna skip ahead the show for me to review Star Fox video game that's coming out, please by all means skip forward. But if you want to hear the story, hear me out. By when I was planning this Cancun trip, I thought that I was going to, have a significant someone to go with, right? That was the plan, right? That was my whole idea, right? Even if a girl that was the one that I think is the one, and hopefully this doesn't sound for me to sound a simp. I, of course, paid for the resort fee and the room and all that. I booked my own flight. If whoever this girlfriend could have been, if she was short, a couple of $100 for her flight, I would have covered her other half of her flight for her just to enjoy this moment with me, right? As I'm turning the age of 30 and having somebody to travel with, a girlfriend, these are the things I would have done, right? I would have, and even if she didn't have no money for her flight, but I knew that she was the one and she loves me for me and she cares about my heart, not just my money, I would have paid her flight. I would have said, "Baby, I really love you. You really love me. I know you're working hard, but you're a little short on your flight. All you got to do is request time off. I got your flight. You just travel with me." That's what I would have done, right? Um, that didn't happen, this year. It didn't happen. It didn't, I back then I used to, and I still pray about it too. I pray about a girlfriend or a significant other because I joke with my friends. I do want to fall in love, right? I joke with God and say, I don't need that. I do. It's all a joke, it's all a facade. Um, but I think a lot of us men, we're starting to understand ourselves a lot more. And a part of me said, yeah, if I had someone to go with, a girlfriend, I even told my mama, you know, I love my family, but if I had a girlfriend and I'm traveling on this trip, I say, hey, family, I love y'all. We can do it something else, but I want me and my girl to go on this one, right? I would choose my girl on this type of trip, right? That didn't happen this year, right? It didn't happen not because this is my preachy moment, not because God didn't want it to happen. I think God wants me to take this trip alone to figure myself out first. Um, Relationships are hard, and I've seen it. Not my close friend circles, because my friends that are in my close friend circles, they're all in love with their boyfriends and girlfriends, and they love each other, right? I'm not talking about them, but I do have colleagues that are not really liking their boyfriends or liking their girlfriends. They're just there because they feel like that's the only thing to do, right? I think a lot of people in society in this generation, they're doing a lot of things because they feel like that's the last thing they got to do in life, right? I have just this month alone, I have about 5, I want to say friends, but we're kind of friends. I mean, we all worked in a business together, not like close business, but just a company. We all worked from Amazon. Some of my friends that I worked at, we worked at Amazon, and then two of my other friends that, what I'm about to say, they worked at another company that I worked at for a minute. They, and I'm not hating, but they're all pregnant, right? They're pregnant. They're expecting children. And it's crazy because the economy that we're in, I wish them best of luck. I really do. Because the economy, I'm sorry, it's not going to get better. It's not. And it's a rough time to try to pop out a baby right now. Where just today alone, luckily for me, I guess my car is a 2-seater, so it took $30 to fill my car up. But gas is $4.27. That's high for some gas. Groceries and stuff are up, and now the 5 friends this month, or the month of April rather, have announced on social media, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, that they are expecting child. It's wild. It's wild to me. I don't understand it. Congratulations. I ain't hating. But that's what a lot of those friends, they feel like that's it. They feel that's their end game. That's not my end game. And that's why God say that you got to take this trip alone, right? That's why you got to not fall into temptation. And I'll be honest, now this is the real, this is on this show, I talk real. I'm sorry. This is a podcast. I like to be real. Just these few months, I'm learning to not fall into temptation. The male temptation for us is masturbation. Some say masturbation is healthy. Some say masturbation is a sin. I'll be honest with you guys. A couple of weeks back, I was on my lowest low, right? I'm getting ready to turn 30. So midlife crisis, I don't know. Going through something weeks ago. continue to pray to God, but I find myself self-pleasuring a lot more, right? And when I went to church, Pastor Daniels, he wasn't at this service, or was he? He wasn't at this service. It was Jerome, I forgot his last name. Jerome, Dr. Jerome, last name I forgot. He was the guest preacher. And I bawled out crying to his sermon because he spoke directly to me about don't fall into temptation, young man. Don't fall into watching porn or masturbating or looking at OnlyFans because yes, those things are sin. They're lustful. They're lustful things that will get you in that funk, that will get you in that negative space, and then you won't feel great, right? And even before that, I wasn't feeling great when I came to church, and the choir, as at Change Church, they're singing, they're doing their thing, and I bawled out crying. Like I cried so much that I got up out my seat, left my coat, my Bible in my seat, so no one would take my seat, and I'm covering my face like a little girl, crying my eyes out because I was in that funk. And to know that of course God didn't forget me, but I'm going through these moments, right? I didn't have the girlfriend to go to Cancun with me, family can't make it, friends can't make it, I'm lonely as hell, that's the moment that tried to get to me, and this was weeks ago. But I learned to pick myself up. I learned to get out of that funk. I learned to be in my discernment and to not fall into temptation. Just these last few days or in the last few weeks, I was deleting people that I follow on Instagram that did nothing but lustful content. I'm saying ass out, these young ladies showing people their panties on Instagram and on TikTok. These fitness influencers who are not truly fitness influencers. It's all because I'm gonna wear, and ladies, I'm not picking on you. I'm gonna wear these tight leggings and show my ass on social media for these fellas, for male, maybe for male validation, maybe not for male validation, but I'm gonna show my ass and my tits for Instagram because that's lustful, because that's the only thing I know how to do in life. Ladies, I'm not picking on you because fellas do it too when they're showing their. It's good to show off your body physiques that you're making progress, but there's a difference between you showing your progress or showing your ass. There's a difference. So I've learned, and all this is going to tie into the circle in a minute. I've learned to not fall into that funk, right? So I started praying more. I started deleting followers who do nothing but show their cleavage and their ass. And some of these ladies are bold enough to show what kind of panties they got on Instagram and TikTok. It's gotten that wild, y'all. Um, and I've learned to unsubscribe to those things, right? And as I learned to unsubscribe to those things, my life has been getting better. It's been brighter. I'm excited for this trip because, yeah, I didn't have the girlfriend to go with me, but now, hear me when I say this on this podcast, and hopefully my friends are listening because when I went to my friends, we had an outing, and I got to stop doing this towards my friends because I love my friends. But I joked with the three gentlemen that are, I won't put them on blast on this podcast, but I joked with the two friends because we went to an outing. Two of the friends had their girlfriends and boyfriends with them; they were booed up, and then the rest of us, the three of us, didn't have booze because we were single. And I joked and said, "Hey, when we gonna get some girlfriends, man?" And I'm joking, but I need to stop doing that because I kind of broke my own rule, right? I feel like now I am in the mood that I don't desire a girlfriend. And it's nothing against you ladies, because I'm sure there is a fine young lady that's going to give me the world one day. I'm sure there's a woman out there that's going to rock my world for the better, that's going to help me make good decisions, that's going to be the one for me one day. I am a firm believer because I don't, it's not even called being a simp. I believe in love. I really do. But I don't have a desire for that now, right? Because I've tried it. I've tried this thing of trying to get to know a girl, trying to the one girl at the gym I tried to get to know, that didn't work. I tried another girl that was at the gym, that didn't work, right? I tried not a colleague, but a old colleague, that didn't work, right? I felt so hard for a girl that goes to the gym that I go to, and maybe she don't even know that I exist. Yeah, part of that part, and you guys know that story. I followed her on Instagram without even asking. That was a whole shebang. It was weird. It was a weird moment for me. I wish I never did it. I wish I never went up to her and introduced myself to her. I wish I never did it because now I don't exist in her world, and that's okay. But I also feel like I don't exist in other girls that I had crushes on and liked. I'm not in their world, and that's okay. I've learned now in the last few weeks and down to the month that I don't desire the girlfriend material because I don't want the stress or the drama or the tension that comes with it. And this is back to my churchy part. Maybe God is designing me to be emotionally, physically, intellectually ready for that kind of thing, and I'm not ready yet. And God is saying, "You're not ready, young man. Stop rushing it. You're not ready." I don't think I'm ready, right? I'm not to say that I'm selfish, but I like to give, right? And I like to, and again, my birthday's on Tuesday. I'm a Taurus. Taurus people, we love hard. We love hard. I can even say that I really, from the girl that goes to my gym that I followed on Instagram and all that story, I fell for her. I really did. I fell for that young lady hard. Didn't even know her. But as a Taurus, we do these things because your mind wonders. But God said you ain't ready. My God said, "You ain't ready." And that's not the one for you. That's not the one that I'm picking out for you. Right. So I no longer desire the girlfriend and desire, you know, getting a girlfriend because of the thrill of it. A lot of these women, I'm not picking on all of you, but some of these women, they're not ready because it's the immaturity. Now that in 4 days from now, I'm going to be 30, I'm going to require some maturity. 30 is an old age. It's not super old because I'm super young, but 30 is 30. You can't go for the immaturity at age 30. Right? My life is changing for the better. There's a lot of great opportunities when it comes down to it. And I don't want that tension or stress or distraction to move me away from my mission that I've got. My mission with God, my mission with my mama, my mission with my family, my mission with my job, my mission with my friends. And the last thing, too, and hopefully it's not a sin, my mission with my money. All of those things are very, very important to me, right? And if my woman of God so happens to be a new mission for me, then so be it. But I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it. I don't I've learned also to not go for those girls that are the super hard. There's this one girl, shout out to you, one girl with the black hair, with the tattoos and the pale skin that you go in the gym every day. Shout out to you. I don't know your name, but I'm gonna shout you out anyway because I sense that you are a good girl. I don't really like your gym attire. It's not me hating on your gym attire. You can wear whatever the fuck you want to wear, but the top, it looks like you got a bra on. It really does. If you asking me, it looks like you got a bra on. I would wear something a little bit thicker than that on her top, but hey, I wasn't staring at it. It's just noticeable in the gym. That's the kind of girl I don't go for. Used to, but not anymore. Because give me the six, give me the seven. Yeah, I like that meme so much. Give me 6, 7, because those are the ones. I haven't seen that in this generation, right? If I haven't seen it in that generation, I don't want it. And that's where my mind's at. I haven't seen that in this generation of someone of maturity and knows what they want in life. I haven't seen it. And if I haven't seen it, I don't want it. And if I don't want it, I don't desire it. That's why I say I don't desire a girlfriend. I don't. And that's why I think this trip to Cancun is going to be awesome simply because I'm doing this alone. And fellas, I'm here to say before I do my Star Fox review, fellas, I'm here to say do not be afraid to do a trip alone. Um, I'm going on this trip. I paid for it. My flight is booked and paid for. I'm going in. I don't have to worry about another payment. I don't have to worry about another person. I'm going there willy nilly, checking in, and I ain't gonna ask what's next. What's next for me to do? I'm just going to go with that flow. And I'm gonna make it happen. This is my mission. I'm gonna make it a mission that each year that I travel, and I'll give y'all a tidbit. I think next year, when I turn the age of 31, I think I'm heading to London, right? Because if I save up enough, work hard like I've been doing, it's achievable. And I got my passport. My passport is good for the next 10 years. So I think I'm going to do London next year. I got to muster that flight. But shout out to Cancun. Can't wait to see you. All right. So before we talk it over to, and ooh, this is a good segment too. Um, before I switch it over, um, okay. So we've got a new Star Fox video game, and I'm so excited. Let me tell y'all why. I'm excited to see a new Star Fox game of some sort because it's been a minute. I'm a huge fan of the Star Fox. I'm a huge fan of the Lilat system. I'm a huge fan of it all. Of course, Star Fox, Glenn Powell, the actor, plays Star Fox in the new Super Mario Galaxy movie. I haven't had time to go to theaters to see the movie, so I might have to catch it when it's streaming. Um, Good movie, though, for what I hear. I haven't seen it yet. It's a good movie. They shadow dropped, Nintendo shadow dropped a surprise Nintendo Direct, Star Fox Direct, squeeze me, a few days ago. Yesterday, if you're watching tonight, if you a few days ago, if you're watching Friday morning. And here are my initial thoughts. Now, I can't obviously I'm gonna buy the game in June so I can review it for you guys in June. So I can't do a review on something I ain't played. No one plays it because it's not out. But my initial thoughts. I don't like it how they say that for based off the Star Fox 64 game. No, it is a straight up remake. It's a good remake. I'm gonna be honest with you. The remake, it looks good now. The graphics look good. The R Wings look good. Everybody but Fox and Falco look good. Everything looks good. But you can't say based off of a game when it's blatantly a remake from the Star Fox 64. And I'm here to argue with a lot of people. Yeah, they've done it 5 times. I think, here's what I think Nintendo did. I think we're going to get an original story from Star Fox. It won't be this year. Hell, it probably won't be next year, right? They just made a movie, right? They just spent hundreds and hundreds of $1 million on this movie. They don't have another 100 million to build this new Star Fox game from the ground up, a whole new original story. They don't have time. But they want to make money. So what they do is they say, okay, the movie just had a smash hit success. Star Fox is in this movie. Okay, what can we spit out to keep the Star Fox train going? Oh, let's just remake 64, but make it better for Switch 2. Okay, bam. People are gonna buy it. $50, you got my money. I'm a big fan of the Star Fox games when they're in the R Wings and the Landmasters. The Blue Marine, that's kind of new. I played Star Fox 64. I actually did play Starlink. Starlink is a game from Ubisoft, I think it's Ubisoft, where Star Fox Team is part of the Nintendo version. And I was always Fox in the Starlink game. So I do like those shooters. I do also play Star Wars Battle Squadrons, right? I do like the shooter games in the ship shooter games. I do like those. Those are fun. So that's why I'm gonna like this one the most because I played 64 as a kid, didn't beat it because I was a kid, didn't know how to play. Played it again for the 3DS, Star Fox 64 3DS, beat it when I was a teen. I'm gonna love this as an adult now. I do like the campaign. They're more talkative. That's where the money comes in. That's what we're paying for. We're paying for the pretty cutscenes. Okay, I'll bite. Not a big fan of Star Fox and Falco's redesign. Fox looks like the fantastic Mr. Fox dummy puppet looking character. Um, Falco, I don't know what the fuck they did with Falco because that does not look like Falco. Again, I'm gonna swallow that pill because this game looks beautiful, so I'm gonna overlook that for the sake of playing the game and enjoying the game. I really wish if they would have made a game like this, published it, made it beautiful, but keep the looks of the Star Fox Zero that came out on Wii U, I think they would have been okay. I get why if they were to stick with the Star Fox Zero character models, but the Star Fox new gameplay is like you're playing Star Fox Zero, but on Switch. So I get why they want to switch up the characters, right? I understand that they want to bring some more realism to it, right? They look like realized animals. I guess that was the target. It just looks weird, right? It looks, I don't want to say I don't want to say it's disgusting. It's just weird and it's jarring because when you are a Star Fox fan, you know what Falco looks like. And Falco does not look like what they are giving us, right? And there's a scene there, he has bird feet. And he's a bird, yes, but like Falco back in the day wore shoes, right? He had a foot. He got like bird feet for him to walk. I get it. They got to bring in the realism. You can't have a realized bird with human feet. I get it. But it's jarring for us fans because we know what we know. We saw what we saw when I was a kid down to a teen playing Star Fox. Um, so that part is weird. I do like the voice acting in it. The voice acting of these characters are great. They're giving us a prologue with James McCloud, Fox's dad, and how Pigma went against the Star Fox team. That's gonna be cool to watch. It's gonna be cool to watch. Like I say, I agree with a lot of people. A lot of people want a new story. It's the same rinse and repeat cycle, new story over and over and over again. I get it because it's the fifth time they're doing it. I really wish they would have gave us something new, a new story perhaps, but they just spit out a movie. Nintendo just spent $200 million on a new movie. They're not going to give us something like that this year. It's not to say that Nintendo won't do it because they will. It just won't be this year. It won't be next year. It's probably going to be 2028 when we see a new Star Fox game with a new story. If they want to go hard with it. And you got to remember the title, Star Fox. You best believe we're going to see a new game, Star Fox 2, Star Fox 3. They're going to make a trilogy of this. But this is like, hey, movie just came out. We just got some money from the movie. Okay, let's get some more money with this spit out game. And that's what they're giving us. I'm not upset because it's June. It's going to give me something to play this summer. So I'm not upset. We get something to play this summer. So I'm not upset with that. It is said to say that we're going to get a new Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time 3D remake. That's going to be a smash hit too. So we're getting things for summer, guys. People are going to buy it. People are going to play it. It might be $50. I will say I don't think it's worth 70 or 80. I think it would have been worth 70 and I do like the angle with Star Fox Assault. When Star Fox, because a lot of people are highlighting Star Fox Adventures, and that's a good game too. But Star Fox Assault was good too because you could fly and battle in the R Wing, but then there are some stages where you could be in third person view of the character walking around doing the mission. If they would have made all the team come out of their R wing for some of the missions and walk around and battle around and do some platforming and open world stuff, that might have been a $70 cost. I would probably pay $70 for that. Case in point, this game looks like $50. Um, they might have a summer sale. They got my money because I'm going to play it. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to buy it. It's going to be fun. All right. I'm going to turn it over to who am I turning it over to? More of us podcast hosts here for Coffee Talk. And I'll be back to close the show. So stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen.
Wake up, y'all! It is now time for the front page news of the day on Coffee Talk presented by Spotify.
Yeah. Okay, so here's something to chew on. Rick Ross, the self-proclaimed biggest boss, just sent a cease and desist letter to Remy Ma over a movie title. And the kicker, the movie's storyline sounds eerily similar to Ross's own controversial backstory.
Oh, that's already a lot to unpack. A cease and desist over a movie title? That's not something you hear about every day. But wait, what exactly is this movie about, and why does Ross feel so threatened by it?
Well, the movie, titled The Biggest Boss, reportedly tells the story of a cop who takes on the persona of a drug dealer before becoming a rapper. Sound familiar? It's basically the narrative that's followed Ross for years, ever since his past as a correctional officer came to light.
Oh, I see now. That's definitely hitting a little too close to home for him, but here's the thing. Ross has been in the game for a long time. He's built a massive career despite that controversy. Why is this still such a sensitive topic for him?
That's the $1 million question, isn't it? Ross has managed to move past the CO scandal for the most part, thanks to his music and business ventures. But it seems like this movie is reopening old wounds, especially since the title, The Biggest Boss, is so closely tied to his brand.
Right, that phrase is practically his trademark. But then you've got Uncle Murda jumping into the mix, calling Ross out and saying he's upset because the truth hurts. That's a pretty bold statement. Do you think there's any merit to what Murda's saying?
Well, Murda's not exactly known for holding back, and his argument is that Ross is trying to suppress a story that mirrors his own life. He even posted that infamous photo of Ross as a correctional officer, which, let's be honest, is like pouring salt in the wound.
That photo really is the image that won't go away. But here's what I'm wondering. Does Ross have a point? I mean, if this movie does feel like it's borrowing from his life story, doesn't he have a right to protect his brand?
Absolutely, he has a right to protect his brand. But at the same time, this is hip hop. Controversy is part of the culture, and artists are constantly navigating questions about authenticity. Ross isn't the first rapper to face scrutiny over his past, and he won't be the last.
That's true. Look at someone like Tekashi 6ix9ine. He's forever labeled a snitch, and that's a narrative he'll probably never escape, no matter how many hits he puts out. But Ross has managed to shift the focus back to his music over the years. Why not just let this movie slide?
That's a fair point. But I think for Ross, it's not just about the movie, it's about the principle. He's worked hard to build his empire, and anything that feels like it's undermining that is going to hit a nerve. Plus, the title, The Biggest Boss, is so closely tied to his identity that it probably felt like a direct shot.
Right? And then there's Remy Ma, who's caught in the middle of all this. Her response was super professional. She reached out to Ross, addressed his concerns, and even changed the title of the movie. That's not something you see every day in hip-hop beefs.
No, it's not. Remy handled it with a lot of class, which is refreshing. She made it clear that she values her relationship with Ross and didn't mean any harm, but you have to wonder, if the movie isn't explicitly about Ross, why did he feel so threatened by it?
That's a great question. Maybe it's just the combination of the title and the storyline. Even if it's not about him, it's hard not to draw the parallels. And for someone like Ross, who's spent years trying to move past that part of his story, it probably felt like a step backward.
Exactly. It's like the movie is holding up a mirror to his career, whether intentionally or not. And that's got to be uncomfortable, especially when you've worked so hard to distance yourself from that narrative.
But here's the thing. Does this make Ross look overly sensitive? Or does it show that he's serious about protecting his legacy? It feels like there's a fine line between the two.
That's the tricky part. For some people, this might reinforce the idea that Ross is still insecure about his past. But for others, it might show that he's willing to stand up for himself and his brand. It really depends on how you look at it.
And then there's the broader question of authenticity in hip hop. Fans want their artists to be real, but they also love a good story. Sometimes those two things don't line up, and that's where things get complicated.
Absolutely. Hip hop has always had this complicated relationship with authenticity. Artists exaggerate, they create personas. It's part of the art form. But there's also this expectation that your persona should at least be rooted in some kind of truth.
And that's where Ross has always had a bit of a problem. His persona as this larger-than-life drug kingpin doesn't exactly line up with his past as a correctional officer. But at the same time, he's such a good storyteller that a lot of people have been willing to overlook that.
Right? And let's not forget, Ross isn't the only artist who's faced questions about their authenticity. Plenty of rappers have had to navigate similar challenges, and it's always interesting to see how they handle it.
For sure. But coming back to this movie, I think what makes it so interesting is that it's not just about Ross's past, it's also about how he's perceived in the culture. Like the fact that Remy Ma's team was willing to change the title and address Ross's concerns shows that they take this seriously.
Yeah. And that's a testament to Remy's professionalism. She could have easily ignored Ross's concerns or escalated the situation, but instead she chose to handle it with grace. That's not something you see every day in hip hop.
Definitely not. But it does make you wonder. What does this mean for Ross's relationship with Remy Ma? They've been friends for over 20 years. Does this situation put a strain on that?
I hope not. From what Remy's team has said, it sounds like she's doing everything she can to make things right, but you never know. Situations like this can get messy, especially when there's money and reputation involved.
No doubt. And then there's the question of how this affects Ross's image moving forward. Does this make him look like someone who can't take a joke? Or does it show that he's serious about protecting his legacy?
I think it's a little of both. Ross has built an incredible career despite the challenges he's faced, and that's something to be admired. But at the same time, maybe this is a reminder that the past has a way of catching up with you no matter how far you've come.
Well said. And if nothing else, this whole situation proves that hip hop is never boring. There's always another story, another controversy, another conversation to be had.
Ain't that the truth? All right, let's wrap it up here. Until next time, keep the conversations going, and let's see where the culture takes us next.
And that's going to wrap it up with Coffee Talk, powered and presented by Spotify. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let me announce this too, because the poster's going to be out. I know a lot of people are going to be asking me, hey, what a pod next week? Ladies and gentlemen, of course, I'm leaving out on Saturday to Cancun. I won't be back on Thursday. So next week, K.L.P. Entertainment, will be suspending shows, podcasts, blog writing for next week because we are all going on vacation. It is time to shut it off for a week. It's time to relax. It's time to gear up and rest and recover because we got a lot of work to do when we come back for the summer. So we're shutting it off next week. So no podcasts, no talk show, no blog posts, no one big question, no more, no Lucas Tribune for the next week. Nothing is gonna happen with K.L.P. Entertainment. We just gotta shut it down for a minute. We shutting it down for a week because we tired. We love y'all, but we tired. We need vacation. Love you guys. Stay safe. Stay swanky. Stay tuned because my special live from Cancun. Basically, what we're gonna film it, but then we're gonna turn around and upload it that next weekend, right? Because those things are easy to edit. So you don't have to wait months for that special. It's coming out the same week we come back. So stay tuned for that as a special. We love you guys. Thank y'all for hearing my story at the beginning of the podcast. Love y'all. This has been Coffee Talk, powered and presented by Spotify. So long. Stay swanky. Love, peace, and respect from our entire cast and crew here in the Studio Latte or Studio Latte. I'm thinking the name. Hope we love you guys. Peace. All right, that does it.